Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with a review of Royal Rumble 2012, which, of course, was the lead-up to WrestleMania 28, of course, back in 2012. I have good feelings about WrestleMania 28, but I didn't have high hopes for the Royal Rumble this year. Of course, you go back to WrestleMania 27 weekend, Monday Night Raw, the go-home show of the weekend. John Cena and The Rock, they agree that they're going to have a match the next year at WrestleMania, and for a lot of people, they were on this buzz of like, yeah, awesome, must-see match, this is the dream matchup, something that, we never thought was ever going to happen, even though The Rock and John Cena were going back and forth. I mean, that was one of the questions that I had in my back pocket as I jumped on a plane to head to Atlanta for WrestleMania 27 was that, The Rock was the guest host, but of course the main feud was Cena versus Rock, but the match was Miz versus Cena. So, when are we going to see this match? There was a lot of people who thought they would do it at SummerSlam because of The Rock and Hollywood and SummerSlam being in Los Angeles, but that weekend they said, hey, you wait 1 year, WrestleMania 28 Miami, we're going to blow the roof off that place. Well, there was no roof. But the first thing that went through my mind was, well, obviously, right out of the gate, you've already announced that John Cena versus The Rock is going to be the main event. So already you're telling me that in January and in February, John Cena is not going to matter to the WWE. He might as well go make a movie of his own because he can't win the Rumble because The Rock wouldn't be the champion, so he can't set that up. And he can't win the Chamber because for the same reason, he can't get a championship match. Of course, everybody knows that they would bury John Cena in a feud going up against Kane. They had a match on the show which ended up in a double countout. But, this right here, I just watched the Rumble match itself, so that's what we're reviewing. It is what it is. This was a good Rumble. Everybody by now know who wins this one. But it started out with Miz and Riley, two former partners. You go back to the last year's Royal Rumble. The Miz, who was the champion, did not compete, but Alex Riley, who drew he drew a high number coming out near the end of the Rumble, had Miz come down as his manager. Miz jumped on the announce team, and then when the timing was right, jumped into the ring, eliminating John Cena from the Royal Rumble, making sure that he would not face John Cena at the WrestleMania. One thing leads to another. Cena ends up winning the Elimination Chamber in Oakland, and he ends up having to fight The Miz as well. So it was sort of like this, at the time, seemed like it was really smart, but then, once it's all over and said and done, you're like, oh, they were setting up Cena versus The Miz already. But they go at it, they fight, and Alex Riley, who was on the way down, even back in 2012, The Miz, who lost a match to R-Truth, I believe on Monday Night Raw, set himself up to be number one in this. And he said, it doesn't matter. I main evented last year's WrestleMania. I'm going to main event this one as well. He said he was going to go the whole way. He's able to dump Alex Riley very fast, making it where he's sitting in the ring for about a minute waiting for R-Truth to come out at number 3. Truth and Miz, who had a feud at the time because of the fact that they had the match and that to beat him in order to get number 1. I don't know why if R-Truth beat The Miz, Miz got number 1, but R-Truth came out number 3. It's in my mind, I can always remember those Rumbles where it was, if you win, you're number 1. If you win, you're number 30. If you lose, you're number 1. Those sort of stipulations are on there, but Truth comes out. Miz and Truth really go at it. It takes a little bit, but The Miz dumps Truth. You see a lot of great stuff in here. The ring starts to fill up with guys like Cody Rhodes and Justin Gabriel, Primo. There's a surprise entrant at number 7 when Mick Foley comes out. He's sort of doing his, I guess you can say just the Mick Foley gimmick itself. He's got the red flannel on, and he's just sort of standing back, and everybody's, just sort of selling in a corner, and he's sort of enjoying the moment of coming back. I don't think this is his first appearance, in WWE, since coming over from TNA. I think the first time we saw Foley was when he did the This Is Your Life with John Cena, which ended horribly, with basically everybody just saying, please put us out of our misery. Let's just, put this one to bed. But You know, Mick Foley is not taking any bumps. I don't know if at this time he had already tried to take one of the wellness tests and he could not pass because of, head issues and things like that. And he knew that he was retired, but he was able to get into the ring. Basically, he wasn't going to be fighting. But definitely you see spots where, he just is standing there and guys are running around and hitting everybody except for him. Number 9, we have another surprise entrant as Santino Marella comes out, and everybody thinks it's going to be Alberto Del Rio. But Del Rio, his music plays, but instead of a nice car coming out of the back, we see a broke down Honda hatchback, and it's got one busted headlight, and Ricardo rolls out and he tries his best to do a Alberto Del Rio. This was really over. People were really into this. He came in, he went wide up to Foley, and Foley says, "Don't fight me, fight him." And he goes over to Justin Gabriel in the corner, and he's going to punch Justin. So Justin punches Ricardo. Ricardo looks at him like, "Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "Because you were going to punch me." But we see lots of things like Santino coming in at number 9. There's a big brawl that breaks out, and one thing leads to another. It comes down to Ricardo. No, not Ricardo. I'm sorry. It comes down to Santino and Foley going face to face, and instead of duking it out, we see one pull out Mr. Sacco. We see one pull out the Cobra, and they meet. Just like this. And it looks like, I don't know if each one has the move on the other one, but it looks like he got the claw, Mr. Sacco, set on the snake, but it is what it is. From there we see Epico, we see Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston win the big award of the year for the Slammy, for getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble but landing on his hands, and then as Miz tried to shove him out, Kofi Kingston walked on his hands over to the stairs, only to get right back into the ring and then be eliminated seconds later. I'm not the biggest fan of Kofi going out. Then we see Jerry Lawler coming in to be the start of all of the announcers. Ezekiel Jackson, Jinder Mahal, the Great Khali. The ring is filling up with guys, and it's really no big deal. Hunico, Booker T, Dolph Ziggler. Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out of the back. Michael Cole. Cole comes into the ring, and he's number 20. He gets into his WrestleMania 27 attire, and he's trying to get the headgear on. He can never really get it set right, so he sort of just sets it on his head and is cheering himself on as time ticks away. And then immediately number 21 comes down, and it's Karma. Also known as Awesome Kong, if people don't remember her hot, little flash in WWE, where it looked like they were going to try and make her into a killer heel, even though she was a babyface, I believe, going after the Bellas. But Karma comes in and she immediately goes after Cole. Cole is scared to death. He knows that Karma's coming for him, so basically he tries to get out of the ring. He's eliminated by Jerry Lawler and Booker T, who had already been eliminated. All 3 of these announcers weren't in the ring all that long, but as Karma's still in the ring, she's able to hit a big, I guess they called it the implant buster or something like that, but she hits it on Dolph Ziggler, and he takes the big bump there in the ring, but Dolph is able to get up and eliminate Karma. She's only in the Rumble for about a minute. From there, Sheamus comes running in. Then we have Road Dogg, Jimmy Uso, Jay Swagger, Wade Barrett, Otunga, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and Big Show fill up the thing. I'm pretty sure the final 4 was Sheamus, Big Show, Orton, and Jericho. Jericho is able to eliminate Randy Orton. Then from there, Big Show is eliminated by... Randy Orton gets eliminated by Jericho. It is what it is. It comes down to Sheamus versus Jericho. A lot of people had picked Jericho to win the Rumble that year, and everybody thought that was like sort of a slam dunk thing. He came back that year. He did the whole not Save Us Y2J, but they had those really creepy end of the world sort of deals. And I've never really figured out what the hell those were supposed to mean. And then he came back 3 weeks in a row on Monday Night Raw without saying a word, just getting in the ring and doing his pose and sort of marking out. And that's what led to him being this sort of a heelish character going after CM Punk at WrestleMania 28. But Sheamus is able to eliminate him and get it wasn't really a surprise win. Some people could see that Sheamus was getting booked up. He hadn't really lost the match that year since SummerSlam. SummerSlam when he lost the countout match to Mark Henry, which built Henry up to go after the World Heavyweight Championship. So he had a good little run, and it wasn't sort of like a geek like Sheamus winning the title now. Sheamus would, of course, go on and beat Daniel Bryan for the championship in a matter of seconds in the opening match, and then go on to sort of have a feud against him they had a 2 out of 3 falls match at a pay-per-view after this. And, it was what it was. It wasn't great. It wasn't good, but, it was a match. But, this is a Royal Rumble that I would honestly sort of just say it is what it is and just sort of skip it. The whole pay-per-view as a whole isn't something that I would really go bananas over. You had Bryan beating Big Show and Mark Henry in a steel cage match. You had the Beth Phoenix and Natalya going up against an 8-diva tag team match. Cena beating Kane. He didn't beat Kane. It was a double countout. Brodus Clay having a match against Drew McIntyre. Punk versus Ziggler. And then, of course, Sheamus winning the Rumble. So, as you can see, not the greatest show. Probably one you'll skip when it comes to Royal Rumble season and trying to pick which one you're going to watch.